Hi Year 7, I hope you're all okay. I hope you've had a nice weekend and you're looking forward to the last couple of weeks of school. I've sent you an email last week just talking about a change to the timing of our Zoom lesson. So that will now be during our lesson next week rather than our next lesson, and that is because I need to give you time to write your essays, which we're going to be doing this week. So this little video, I'm just going to sort of help you get ready to write those essays. We've already done lots of prep work in previous lessons, so hopefully you are in quite a good position anyway. So first of all, I'm just going to tell you all the things you need to get opened up. All of these documents are going to be on Show My Homework. So first of all, we need to open up the Break with Rome essay plan, which is this. This is going to help us structure our essay properly and use Peel paragraphs. You need to open up this. So this is just another way of using that essay plan, if it's easier for you, to put it into chunks. Okay, so you can do a slide at a time when you write it up. You've also got some key words here to help remind you what some of these key things mean. And you'll also need to open this, which you had last lesson, so your card sort. You did this last lesson. Hopefully you've got it saved from last time. Okay, yours probably won't look like this if you did it by hand, if you coloured it in, but it should be a card sort nonetheless. And you also should have this document where we joined up the event to the consequence. So gents, as I say, what we're going to do today is we are going to practice writing this essay, okay, and get us in a position where you can spend the next 2 lessons of this week working on it and hand something in you can really be proud of just to finish off the year. Okay, so stage 1. Let's open up our new Word document. There it is. Okay. And we're going to use this to write our essay in. So I'm going to put my name at the top, Miss Quinlan. Okay, and then I'm going to put my title. I'm going to underline it. And the title is, if you're not sure, it's this. It's Why Did Henry Break from Rome in 1534? So, why did Henry break from Rome in 1534? There we go. Okay, ready to start. Now, as I say, what you've got is you've got lots of documents here to help you structure this correctly. Okay, so this would be your introduction. Now, I'm not going to write this for you now, all right, because it's all the information you need is on here, but just do it bullet point by bullet point. Okay, so you start off by giving me a bit of introduction, sort of scene setting. Tell me who Henry was when he was king. Then you're going to signpost what your essay is going to look at and what you're going to decide. So let's get on to the paragraphs then. Now this is where the card sort's going to be really helpful because this is where all the evidence you need is. So this is going to be your Bible for writing this essay because everything you need is going to be on this page. Okay, so open up your essay plan. Okay, so we're doing paragraph 1, personal reasons. Now before we start writing, it's sensible to plan. Okay, which is why you've got this box here. Okay, so every paragraph of this essay, you are going to need to include at least 2 to 3 pieces of evidence. So we're going to practice that now. So this is personal reasons. So let's go to our card sorts. Okay, I did personal reasons in yellow. Okay, so I've got 3 pieces here. Okay, so what are they? Let's add them to our plan. Okay, so Henry and Catherine were married for 24 years, but had only one child, Mary. Okay, so we can add that in. Okay, so, oh, it's very big. Make that a little bit smaller. So Henry and Catherine had been married for 24 years, but only had one surviving child, a girl called Mary. Catherine was now too old to have any more children. Okay, so that's our first piece of evidence. Now, I'm not going to do every single one of these because we'll be here all day, but what you're then going to do is you will do the exact same thing. You go to your card sort, you find that particular type of reason, so a personal reason, and you put the evidence into here. Now notice, boys, I didn't just copy and paste, I wrote it in my own words. That's really important that you do that, alright, because I'm not marking my own essay, I want to mark your essay. So you need to make sure you put it in your own words. So before you start writing anything, what you're going to do is you're going to do that process for each paragraph. So for each one, you're going to go to your card sort, you're going to pull out 2 to 3 pieces of evidence of good bits that you want to talk about, and you're going to pop them in this box. And the good thing about that is it means when you come to writing your essay up in full, you'll have all of the evidence you need in the same place. Okay? So let's get to writing our essay then. So I'm going to use the sentence starters to help me. Okay, so let's pretend we've already written the introduction. Let's write our first paragraph together. Okay, so what's our sentence starter? So we can just cut and paste that, that's fine. Okay, Some have argued the main reason Henry broke from Rome was because of his personal life. Okay, one piece of evidence to support this is that, and this is where we're going to look at that evidence that you've just put on here. Okay, and we're going to use that to complete this paragraph. Okay, so we're going to use all three pieces of those evidence. So you're going to put it in your own words. So that although he and Catherine of Aragon had been married for 24 years, they had no surviving children except for one girl, Mary. Catherine was now too old to have any more children. Okay, so let's remind ourselves what we've done so far. We've got our point. Okay, so we've got a point there, how we start our paragraph. And now we've started giving some evidence. Okay, now, we wanted to give at least 2 to 3 pieces of evidence, so we need to give a little bit more. Okay, so this is where that plan would have come in. What we can do is we can say, and I'm going to put this on here, we can say that he had fallen in love with someone else. Okay, so Henry had also, in fact, what we'll do is okay, another piece of evidence to support this point is that Henry had also fallen in love with another woman, Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn refused to become Henry's mistress. She would only be his wife. If he wanted to have a relationship with her, he had to divorce Catherine first. A third piece of evidence, with another one of evidence that supports this point, is that by 1533, Anne had become pregnant. This meant it was now very urgent that Henry got his divorce and was able to marry her. Why is that? Why is that? Well, let's remind ourselves of our key words. Illegitimate. In Henry's time, if you are born and your parents were not married, okay, not a big deal these days, but in those days, it was, meant that that child couldn't inherit. They couldn't be the next king. So if Anne was to have a baby, and that baby was a boy, which Henry really hoped it was, it would all be for nothing if they weren't married. Otherwise, her baby, which Henry believed was a son, would be illegitimate and could not inherit the throne. Okay, there we go. Boom. Right, lots of evidence there. We've got 3 pieces. We've got one piece, we've got a second piece, and we've got a third piece. So what do we need to do next? Let's return to our plan. Okay, and as I said, what you can do if it's easier for you is you can do it slide by slide. This is the exact same plan, so you can use this too. Okay, so let's go back to this one. So let's imagine we've filled it out properly. This evidence supports the view that Henry's personal life played an important decision because. Okay, so we can just bung that straight in. Okay. Now we need to actually explain it. So this is the hard part, is where you have to use your brain. And if you are a little bit stuck about this, what you can do is you can have a look at this sheet. All right, because if you remember, this links a cause to a consequence. Okay, so that helps us to make sure that we are able to explain things, explain why different things caused divorce to happen. Okay, so here we go. So we want to do it piece by piece. So our first bit of evidence was they'd been married 24 years and they had no children, apart from one. Okay, Henry desperately wanted a son, and it had become clear that Catherine would not be able to give him one. This meant he had to break from Rome, as the Pope would not let him divorce Catherine. And starting his own church, the only way to end his marriage. Okay, right, so we've done the first one. Let's explain this one. Okay. The fact that Anne refused to become his mistress also meant that Henry had to break from Rome. As again, he could not get a divorce from Catherine either way. Okay, and then the final one, by 1533, Anne had become pregnant, therefore it's very urgent, okay? Finally, Anne's pregnancy meant Henry had to break from Rome because the matter was now urgent. He could not wait for the Pope to change his mind. And the only option to ensure he had a legitimate heir when Anne's baby was born was if he broke from Rome, started his own church, and granted himself a divorce. There we go, lots of nice detailed explanation, one per piece of evidence. Okay, boom, well, let's highlight that in green for explanation. Okay, so we've almost finished the paragraph. Last little thing we need to do, let's check our plan again. This means a link back to the question, so you can just take that. Obviously, you can do this in your own words if you want, that's even better, but for these sentence starters, I'm happy for you to just use them as they are. There we go, okay, and that is our link back. Boom. Okay, so just to remind you what we've got here. We've got a point, and that is highlighted in turquoise. We've got some evidence, and that is highlighted in yellow. We've got some explanation, which is in green. And we've got a link back to the question, which is in purple. Now, boys, if you really want to push yourself, what you can do is go back and forth between evidence and explanation. So, for instance, rather than doing all your evidence in one chunk and then all your explanation in a chunk, you can do it one by one. So, for instance, let's do our first piece of evidence. One piece of evidence is that he and Catherine had been married for 24 years. They had no surviving children. Okay, let's take this, because that's our explanation for that. We can put that there. Okay, we can also do it with this bit of explanation. Okay, put that there, and there we go. So you can do your paragraph either way. This is the slightly more advanced way of doing it, going back and forth between evidence and explanation, but either way is absolutely fine. Okay, so I'll just put that back for your example. All right, so gents, what you're going to do is you're going to do that process. You're going to work your way through this whole essay plan. Okay, you're going to use the card sort to help you. You're going to use your cause and consequence sheet to help you. Okay, and that I'm going to give you 2 lessons this week to do that. So you can have both of today's lesson and tomorrow's lesson, or whenever it is, your second lesson this week, and you're going to use that time to get this essay written. Now, it is your final essay of the year. Okay, so I'm hoping it's going to be a really good one. Okay, now when you make your decision, okay, at the end of the essay, you're going to give your opinion and you're going to tell me which one you think is most important. So do you think the main reason he broke from Rome was because of his personal life? Do you think it was because of religion, because he was suddenly a committed Protestant? Or do you think it was for money or power? All right, you're going to make your choice. Okay, you're going to pick one. And then what you then need to do is back that decision up. Okay, now if you want to be really clever, what you can do is try and link reasons together. So you can maybe say, the main reason he did it was for his personal life, but the fact he was going to get more power was also important. Or you can say the fact that he wanted an heir is all about power. So actually, really, it's all down to power. All right, you can kind of explain it how you like, okay? But try and think of links if you really want to push yourself. All right? So, as I say, if you'd prefer to do it slide by slide, paragraph by paragraph, you can do it like that. You've got all of this stuff to help you, okay? That should make it nice and easy. And you've got 2 lessons. You've got all of this week to get this done. All right, so what I'd like you to do is when it's written, I would like you to submit it to me using Show My Homework, okay? And then I will mark it for you ASAP so you can get it before the end of term. All right, gents, thank you very much. If you have any questions at all, I really don't mind. Just drop me an email and I will be sure to help you out. Okay. All right, guys, well done, and I will see you for our Zoom lesson next week.